So it's been about 6 months since I handed in my last piece of coursework at university, so it's probably been about 4 months since I actually graduated, which basically means I've spent the last 4 months avoiding any sort of adult responsibilities whatsoever, because as soon as I graduated, I went travelling. I had a great time avoiding any sort of responsibility, but now I'm back and facing the real world. But I thought this was the perfect time to make another Unite video. So for those of you who haven't seen me on this channel before, my name is Lois. I've just finished studying in Manchester. I was there for 3 years. It was a roller coaster of a time, but I'm now living in London, which is where I will be for the foreseeable future. Now you might be thinking, seeing as you're no longer a student, why are you still making student videos for a student YouTube channel as a student? Well, my friends, I may have graduated, but I still feel like I have lots of wisdom to bestow upon you, especially now that I've graduated, now that I'm old and wise and have the benefit of hindsight for what's now the entirety of my degree. And maybe some of the stuff I say in this video can hopefully help you guys. So let's get into it. So the first point I wanted to mention in the video is something I've touched on before in my videos here with Unite, but that is, when it comes to meeting new people, confidence is key. If you're joining a society for the first time and you don't have any friends to tag along with, then it can be really daunting, especially when it looks like people already know each other. Speaking from experience, that was something I really struggled with. Even in my final year, it was still a big issue. So what I learned was, at the end of the day, it's great to just be yourself, and it might be scary, but approaching someone and just starting a conversation is a great way to minimize any sort of awkwardness or anything. It might be a bit scary and daunting for the first 30 seconds, but most of the time everyone's up for a conversation, and before you know it, you'll be best of friends and the awkwardness of your first encounter will be a distant memory. The second point I wanted to make in this video was regarding mental health. I think it's so important, especially amongst students, because university can be really tough. All these different experiences can be very confusing and stressful, and it's really easy to just lose touch with yourself, basically. So bearing all that in mind, my second point is that you are not alone in your struggle. You will never be the only one that's going through what you're going through. There's always going to be someone who can relate, or someone who has previously been through it and can give you some advice. Social media has conditioned us to basically feel like we're going crazy because we seem to be the only one that doesn't look like they're enjoying themselves at university. But if you reach out and talk to someone and tell them that you're having a bit of a hard time with something, you are guaranteed to find someone who will be willing to listen. And if you're lucky, they might have even been in a similar situation, or they can say that their friend has and they can direct you to talk to them. Like the old saying goes, a problem shared is a problem halved. May not feel like it's been halved, but it definitely helps. Most of the time that I've spoken out about my issues, it's always been a really positive experience, and it's important to talk. Now, speaking of struggling, this might be my favourite point in the video. Let's see. When you are having a breakdown or freaking out, think of it as a breakthrough and not a breakdown. Bear with me on this one. Failures and panics and freakouts and just generally being stressed about a situation is always going to be an opportunity for growth. Whatever you're going through, life is about pushing yourself through something difficult. And that goes for university, it goes for working, it goes for just life in general. I learned that if you look at it as a breakthrough, then you can hopefully see that something good will come of it. University might be hard with deadlines and stress with friends and everything like that, but it doesn't really stop, to be honest. There's always going to be a bit of drama or something you find difficult to cope with. That's just life. Progression as a person is never easy, but it's always worth it. It will always lead you to a path that hopefully down the line you can look back on it and think, yeah, I can see how that's led me to where I am today, and I'm grateful for it. If I hadn't really struggled during my first year of university, I wouldn't have started my blog, and consequently 2-3 years down the line I would not be enjoying life as much as I am now. Basically, that's a long story short, but hopefully it makes sense. I wanted one of the points in this video to be about balancing your work life and your social life. There's not a lot of advice I can give you on this topic because frankly I have still not yet mastered this art. But one thing I did learn at university is if you want something enough and you work hard enough, you can achieve it. That is the bottom line. But it is important to know when to take a break, to take a step back and just go and relax and enjoy some time with your friends, or have some time for yourself, have a nice bubble bath or something like that. It's important to know kind of when to draw that line, but I did learn at university that a great way to feel like you're socializing but also working if you feel like you've got a lot going on is to just have a study group or invite your friends round and say, yeah, I want to see you, but I really need to get this essay done, so can we just meet up and do some work together? Even if you sit in silence for 3 hours, it's good to feel like you're still spending time with another human and just not like locked away in front of your laptop screen in the dark for like a week. That is probably the best piece of advice I can give you in terms of working and socializing at university, because I do understand the struggle of there being so much work, and university can be very, very stressful when it comes to balancing your social life, any societies you're in, your exams, your coursework, any friend dramas that are going on. It's a lot to handle. In that respect, I can say to just take each day as it comes, take one thing at a time. If you need to reach out to someone, like I said earlier in the video, please do. There is no shame in it, but you will get through this. Which leads me to the final point of the video, which is your degree does not define you. You are not your grades. You are not the result you got on the essay 2 weeks ago. There is so much more to life than your studies. It may feel now like if you don't get this certain grade or if you don't finish this essay, you'll fail and you won't get anywhere in life, or whatever horrible scenarios come into your head. Speaking as someone who has graduated despite not necessarily wanting to do what she was studying after she graduated, it's gonna be okay. You'll figure it out, things will take time, and in a few years' time you'll be able to look back on your time at uni and it may have been terrible or it may have been really fun, but my point is that it's going to be stressful, but try not to worry too much because you will get through it. It's hard and it's difficult, and at the end of the day life is just sometimes difficult and it's always going to be that way until the day you die. But the most we can do until then is just try to enjoy it. So that is all I have for you today. Hopefully some of those life lessons resonated with you. I know it's probably hard being in the midst of uni, being able to just listen to a graduate saying how everything will be fine, because I know that that's not how you feel right now, but hopefully you can take on board some of the advice I've imparted in this video, and I guess I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, and I guess Merry Christmas if this video goes up in time. Merry Christmas. Bye.